Hmm.
Uh,
Uh,
okay.
mhm.
Oh, we're live, right?
Yes, we are. Let's do it. Let's just get right to it. This is we're all talking about the direct. So allow me to introduce us. We are the 8-bit generation, and you are listening and watching the 8BGCAST. I'm Steve with my co-host Sterl,
Hi,
and
internet that we don't deal with a lot.
every once in a while, a seasonal basis.
Not good.
It's not too bad though. If you like and enjoy these videos, please subscribe, share, comment down below. We love the interaction. And if you enjoy it, just please show your support. So today we'll be focusing on the Nintendo Direct. We're just going to kind of go over our favorite games or games that look interesting. It wasn't too big of a Direct. It was just a couple of games, right? What did you say?
I'm sorry, what?
This guy's probably watching a trailer right now.
Uh,
Uh,
no, I'm not.
Yeah, I see it in your eyes. I see the reflection. The game's
I
playing.
have a lot of stuff going on my screen.
I think let's talk about the game that I think most people are interested in talking about. I guess the game is worth the damn. Super Mario Wonder.
Uh, Go ahead.
Sure, no problem. I'm a big fan of Mario, especially you know, the 2D games. Uh, it looks like a typical Mario game, with some, slight changes, in terms of design. The characters look a little bit more, I feel like, slightly more cartoony, and they have a different perspective that they're facing when they're, I guess moving. But what's interesting about it is that it has like this, I guess, this whimsical kind of theme. So like, I guess odd things can happen depending on the powers. It was they didn't go into a lot of details or really talk about the game. This from the visuals alone, it just looked like it would be like
They
a
just showed a trailer. They didn't say anything. They just showed gameplay. That's it.
mhm. But there's gonna be like some I guess some new power-ups or some different things from Mario that's different from Mario games, which is kind of like, Mario games are already weird as it is, but for the norm, it's a lot different. Like they showed Mario with like this when his body's like stretched out and you can move like that throughout the course, or when he got like the ice power, it kind of like threw him. Oh, it could have been ice, maybe not ice power, but what this flower that kind of brought him to like a warped, another warped area. So it looks like it'll be more of a trippy type of thing. It kind of reminds me of the Super Nintendo. When you get to that groovy area, what is it called? Tubular or groovy, the special stage?
Okay.
Yeah, it feels like something like that. Like it's just kind of a little different and different than just slightly different than the norm. Like when there's like wonderful, like all these words that come out when you're hitting all the shells and everything like that. It seems like it's gonna be very different. What's your take on it?
Uh, I have the complete opposite take than you do.
Really?
Uh, where you to me when you said, "Oh, it's like a 2D Mario game that doesn't really." What'd you say? You said it's
I said
like looks.
it looks like it feels whimsical, like a whimsical.
Nah, but you were saying something else like it was familiar or something like that. Like it didn't. It looked like a typical 2D Mario.
I mean, just on
Something.
the design, like the typical design, but everything else looks like it's
So
gonna be very.
I got a completely different vibe because
Mhm,
I'm not a big fan of the new Super Mario Brothers series. I don't think
mhm,
they're that good actually. They're not bad. They're quality games, but they're not like anything I want to go out and buy ever.
mhm.
Uh Partially is like, oh, one of the big appeals was it's 4 players, but you can, as our age, you never find 4 co-op couch players. I know it's not made necessarily for us,
Mhm.
but even when you do, there are such varying skill levels that it's not like,
Yeah, you all have to be on the
You're
same
not all going to
plane.
be having a ball. So, you know, great for kids and all that. But then, okay, also, there was like, I remember the first new Super Mario Brothers for the DS was like, oh, you know, Mario's back to being 2D
Oh
and
yeah,
doing,
that was.
and
Mhm.
to me, it was like, I played it through because it's a quality game, but it never to me felt like this is a sequel to Super Mario World or Super Mario Land 2 or World 2 or whatever. It felt like we're going back to basics. We're going to make a quality, regular Mario 1 to style game with a little bit of extra stuff from the newer games, but not really. It never felt to me like a game that you could call Super Mario Brothers 4 or 5 or something. You know what I mean? It didn't
Mhm.
feel like the next step. Whereas each 3D Mario game that comes out, because I knew I said before this announcement came, I was talking to some people and I was like, boy, they haven't really made a 2D Mario game in a while. I feel like it's coming. Because I said the 3D one they just made, and like
Mhm.
5 years ago, I was like, I would like another one, but I feel like we're not going to get another one of those for a while. So when they announced, someone said, "Oh, it's a 2D Mario game," and I saw it, and I said, "Fudge!" Then I
Mhm.
watched the trailer, and then I was like, "You know what? This looks much to me. This actually looks like a genuine sequel to like Super Mario World."
Really?
That I
So,
feel, yeah, I feel
oh,
like to
I.
me,
Go ahead.
it feels like they did. There is that whimsical gimmick with the flowers are talking. They always make
Yeah,
these
yeah,
kind of funny comments, which I think was kind of cool.
yeah. I forgot to mention that. Yeah.
Um, but there looks to be more of a joy in the way the characters move and the
Hmm.
wackiness that happens. But to me, it does not. To me, it doesn't feel like you're just running to the end flagpole. I mean, maybe you are, but it feels like it does feel like an evolution to me
Hmm.
of Super Mario Brothers, like the 2D style. It feels like the new ones that with the new in the title
Yeah.
never felt like that to me.
Mm.
They felt like side-scrolling 2D Mario games with some new powers, but nothing really that says this is the next step of 2D Mario. Where this, it could be gimmicky, but to me, at least it looks like the next step of 2D Mario game.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate like them going out of the way to do something different, rather than just kind of like do the atypical thing. I mean, it's very mysterious because you don't really, like I said, they didn't really describe anything or say anything. They just showed you like clips from the game. But I'm
They showed a
interested.
lot though. Like
What?
it's 2 minutes and 30. It's pure gameplay.
Hmm.
That's what I like. You know, there's no story really at
The
all. It's
gameplay
just
spoke for itself.
you ride Yoshi, you
Hmm.
2 players. You got Daisy. I don't know if
Yeah.
they
Oh,
do if
Daisy,
the
yeah,
characters
first
do
time
anything
playable, right,
different.
in a platforming game.
I mean, she was playable in. No, you're right. This
Yeah,
might be the
platform.
first time.
Yeah, I think she's like usually playable in like sports games or like Mario
I mean,
Kart.
she was technically playable in Super Mario Run on the iPhone.
Ah, I see. But that's not like a traditional. I guess
I
what's
mean,
traditional? What's traditional, right?
nah, it's I wouldn't count that because nobody played
Mm.
that. So
But yeah, yeah, it looks. Well, Super Mario Wonder, it looks really interesting. That's actually my favorite game of the announcement.
oh,
So
that I don't know if that definitely probably wasn't my favorite game,
oh really? But all right, tell me
but I don't
what.
think I had a favorite game. I just saw a lot. Like Nintendo Directs are so much fun to watch compared to all these other companies because
Mhm.
they just know for the most part they throw out games where you're like, there's always a game where I'm like, oh wow, like I can't wait to play that.
Mhm.
These other companies have some big hitters and some kinds, but then it's never they're never as enjoyable to me as Nintendo. Like I'm always waiting around for the next announcement when I
Mhm.
watch these things. Like, will it be something really cool? You know,
Mhm.
a lot of times, like I watched the Sony had a recent one was okay, Xbox had something, Capcom did one, and it's like, eh, none of
Doesn't do
oh
it for
yeah.
you.
Usually it's like you'll see one game, whatever, but Nintendo just throws out some pretty off the wall shit. Like
Mhm.
sometimes that you're like, what the fuck? So for me, the big one is like Super Mario RPG. Is like
Yeah, I want to bring that
that
up.
remake. Like I didn't see that coming.
Mhm.
Not because there's a lot of reasons you don't see it coming. It was partially the idea of SquareSoft and this and that, right?
Mhm.
And you don't know if like what who signed what. Usually when Nintendo gives out their license, though, they usually have most of the control over everything anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not like Squaresoft could be like, hey, yada. It's like similar to like Sora and Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
He's Squaresoft game, but that character's owned by Disney. So
Mm-hmm.
you
So
know
if anything
that's
happens, Disney is going to
that's
own
why
Sora.
it was so difficult to get him into Smash Brothers because
Mhm.
they didn't have to go argue with Squaresoft about it, and the Squaresoft gave them cloud and shit. They don't care. They had to go to Disney,
That's
get
the big
Disney's
dog right
permission,
there.
which is a big thing.
Mm.
So yeah, so Mario RPG, which I'll say two things about that. It's probably like I'm excited because that was one of my favorite games growing up. I used to play RPGs, but I never, I think the first time I played Super Mario RPG, I didn't even know what RPG stood for. I just knew it was the kind of cool 3D isometric Mario game,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't care that you jumped into battles, and who cared? It was active time. Everything it was just the perfect little game to play when you were like 10 years old or whatever
Mm-hmm.
time it came out. It's 96. Yeah, so I was 10. I never had at the time, I didn't even have a Super Nintendo, I don't think, but I borrowed it from a friend after
Mm-hmm.
he beat it. And it is somewhat baby's first art. It's easy. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
hard game. So but it's great to see it's being remade.
Oh, definitely.
My only thing is I hope it's not a overly faithful remake in terms of just the same game but better graphics.
So basically, you're hoping for something different. Like, are you looking for something
I'm
different
hoping
gameplay
for
wise or story wise?
maybe some, like, they're going to update some dialogue and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping maybe expand the game, because I think in the beginning the game is paced pretty well, and then towards the end it kind of speeds up towards the ending. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like once you get the first 4 stars, the next 3 kind of come really quick. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
you kind of just go from, once you get the 6 star, you're basically end game, and I'm hoping, because I don't expect it to be difficult. I'm not asking for a challenge, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe something that surprises players returning, because it's a remake. I hope it's not just a remake for people who never played, because first of all, you can play it on the Super Nintendo
Mm-hmm.
console thing you have on the Switch. You can play. I think it's there. So
Oh,
it'd just
Super
be
Mario
nice.
RPG? Is this Super Mario RPG there? I don't think
Yeah,
so.
it is. I'm
It
pretty
is?
sure it is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Okay.
it is. And if it's not, I know it's on the SNES. I'm pretty sure though. I'm like almost 99% sure it's there.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is I hope something new in there,
Mm-hmm.
not just new visuals and updated music. I hope there's maybe the game, like, maybe they balance it differently, make maybe new, I'm not asking for new characters and stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
something that's not just making it a
Well,
remake.
let me ask you a question. Seeing that they're putting so much work into this, remake, doesn't that leave the door open for Super Mario RPG 2, like a straight sequel of the
Yeah,
game?
it leaves there.
Because
That's probably why they're testing the waters with this anyway. I think, yeah, it does. But I'm not, but like, if that's the case, that's not going to come out for years.
yeah,
It's not going to be out for a while. So I'm not even looking at it like that. I know we're getting this year. The trailer didn't really show to me anything really new. It showed, so it's like, remakes are fine. Certain games can be remade exactly the way they are, and I think it's fine. But I feel like RPGs have to, I don't know. I feel like this has to add something.
Personally, I feel that, I mean, my experience with Super Mario RPG, I was similar to yours in terms of being a kid. When I saw Super Mario RPG, I didn't know what RPG meant. I'm just like, okay, it's a new Mario game. Maybe RPG stands for something else. I don't know. I played it very briefly. I never really, I don't recall playing it a lot. I just played it like probably the first 15, 20 minutes, and then I just never like completed it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was excited to see it because I'm like, okay, perfect. It'll be a great way to play it on a modern system and kind of play with different graphics. But I think it's more so for the newer generation who probably didn't get a chance to play the RPG, and there's probably some segment of fans or gamers who look at like Super Nintendo graphics and it's just like, this is it doesn't appeal to them. Like for us, I feel it appeals more to us because that's what we're grew up with, and we're accustomed to. We can look at it with certain reverence. Where kids nowadays, or I don't say kids, but certain gamers who were born after a certain time, they may not look at these pixelated graphics with the same kind of reverence and
Yeah, I
and
get it. It's not made.
well,
I get like them remaking it. I feel like
I feel like it's a testing round to
it's
make a sequel, because once they make it and if it sells good enough and they show interest, then they'll say, oh, well, you know what, we're going to do a Super Mario RPG 2, continues the story with the same characters and everything else. Because I think that's what, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's what a lot of fans were missing. Like they wanted to see these characters again. Like, I don't recall the character names, but like the Cloud Guy, the
Mallow and then
Mallow,
Gino.
and
But like
Mhm.
I see what you're saying, but I almost feel like there's a issue with remaking a game. You're remaking it, so part of your big audience is gonna be your people that originally played it.
Mhm.
So it's not like you remake Resident Evil. They remake Resident Evil 4. They remade all these, but they remade them, updated them. The vibe is the same, but they changed enough around where if you're new, you can enjoy it, but also if you're returning, you can enjoy it. So
Mhm.
to me, I'm just hoping that as a returning player, that I'm not really just replaying the same exact game. If it's for new people, that's fine. You can still add new shit in
Mhm.
to make it, because they're not going to know the difference. They're not going to care what's new or not. But me as a returning player, which you're remaking it for a reason, not just for as a returning player,
Mhm.
you can at least add some new things in. Like the new games, all these new remakes, a lot of new remakes do that. They don't just flat out just remake a game. Sometimes they do, and usually
Mhm.
those are not the best remakes because it's just too much of the same. It's really just re-releasing a game with better
Mhm.
graphics. That doesn't take much work other than developing a new engine. And
Mhm.
so I'm just hoping they have lots of new things. Not
Mhm.
maybe not lots, but enough to make it worth really just replaying instead of, because if it is, then it's just shallow at that point. It's just like, and
Yeah.
a lot of times new remakes don't always overshadow the original games anyway,
Mhm.
if they're not done right. So I'm hoping that's done right.
Mhm.
But I'm still very hyped about that.
All right.
You want to choose
Let's
another game?
Yes. So another game that I thought was interesting. Well, Metal Gear Solid for the Switch.
Right.
Essentially they're remakes, but it's kind of good to, well, not only remakes, but they're coming with the original games as they were made. Metal Gear for PS1, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, and Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater. I think they're graphics perfect, right? The same type of graphics. There's no real updates to them as far
Right.
as I
Yeah, they're
recall.
basically bringing I'm assuming whatever the most recent collection versions were, they're just bringing those.
And then also have the original NES Metal Gear as well as um the Japanese console
Are you
blank one.
sure they're having the original NES Metal Gear, or are they having the original Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2? I
So they're
think
having
that's
the
what
original Metal Gear along with the NES Metal Gear.
they're having the NES one.
Yeah, and Snake's Revenge.
They're having Snake's Revenge.
Yeah,
Are you sure?
that's what the trailer said. Yeah, I'm looking at the trailer. It says Metal Gear and Snake's Revenge, and it's gonna be
Oh,
like pretty much that's why they call the Master Collection. It's gonna have pretty much everything, which is kind
yeah.
of great. I'm
Why?
actually
That's so
what
weird.
why is that weird?
Because Kojima is actively. Oh, he's not there. So I guess yeah. Never mind.
Okay, yeah, that's your
Never
question.
mind. Never mind. That I was just gonna say, because Kojima is famously,
I know he's the American
he
versions.
hates America. He
Yeah.
hates the NES version. It compared to the original, it's not, it's nowhere near as good. And
Hmm.
Snake's Revenge is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So I figured, like, why would they even include that? But I
But
guess
you answer
it's
your
the
question.
master collection. So, but
But no.
I mean, this is the thing. Now, if you're gonna have a master collection and include this garbage, then I already heard that there's leaks for Master Collection Volume 2, and it's
Hmm.
gonna have Metal Gear Solid 4. And
Okay.
so that's the first time Metal Gear Solid 4 will be free from the PS3. You
Yeah.
can't play it anywhere else but on PS3.
Hmm.
So that's cool. So you're gonna assume they're gonna have Metal. What is
So
this?
damn. So
They're gonna have
Go ahead.
Metal Gear Solid 4. They're gonna have Peace Walker. I think it's 4, Peace Walker, and then 5. Those are the 3 ones on the next collection. I'm guessing if you want to be fucking the master collection and shit, start throwing in a bunch of good other shit. They should throw in one of the most underrated
GBA
Metal Gear games. Huh?
Wasn't there like a Metal Gear GBA game?
Yes. Game Boy Color game. Ghost Babel. Very good. I remember buying that at Funko Land for like $10 and taking it home and being like, they really got all the Metal Gear they could out of the Game Boy Color. It's incredible. It has actually a story and it has all the sneaking. The game, it plays like Metal Gear Solid. It's amazing that they did that good of a job. So that should be there. That'd be very disappointing. At least it should be on every version. But if the Nintendo one has a special extra, it should definitely be on this.
Wasn't there like what about Metal Gear Acid?
I was gonna say too. They might as well throw in both Acid games. There's Acid 1 and Acid 2. And which some people liked, I know it's Metal Gear Card, whatever, but it's whatever. It's still and then they should throw in Portable Ops as well.
Yeah,
Portable Ops is not canon, but it's still PSP garbage. Whatever, I was gonna say garbage, but it's fun. I had fun with.
But what about the online? All right, so what about this? What about the online? Because I know Metal Gear. I didn't really play them a lot, but I know Metal Gear Solid 4 had an online component to it.
I don't think they need to do that because that to me, like,
isn't that part of like? I know we talk about game preservation sometimes, but wouldn't that be part of like having like every?
No, I don't know, because I think I know what you're saying, but I think the multiplayer, because like Portable Ops had multiplayer. Should they bring back that too? Like, I don't think every game it requires servers and all sorts of stuff. And I'm like, or even if you had peer-to-peer servers, they're not gonna in a collection of games, resources to do that. I think it's not, and it ain't worth it. It's not like it was an experience. Like, is anybody ever clamoring for Metal Gear multiplayer? Like, I don't hear that anywhere. Like, was it? It was so good. I hear people saying like The Last of Us multiplayers, like bring that back, but I never hear anybody. But then again, because people can play Metal Gear 5 online and kind of still raid people's bases and stuff. Like that part should still be part of it, I think, on Metal Gear 5. But the rest, I don't think they should focus on that. All right, so yeah, Metal Gear, that was yours.
Yeah, another one.
Yeah, I enjoyed quite a few games. I just wish I kept the page I had up. All right. I'm a WarioWare guy, so I saw a new WarioWare.
I saw that.
It actually, and I'll say something. I think this looks more. I don't know how the game is structured, because WarioWare games are usually pretty simply structured. They're not like, but the last one I was playing on this one, the Switch. I can't remember what it's called.
Was it? Wii U. Wii U.
Switch. No, the Switch. The Switch had one. Yeah, it had a Wario game. I can't remember what it's called, but I kind of didn't like the structure of the game, where it had you playing as different characters, and each character interacted in the mini game instead of,
okay. So it's like almost like you're playing a character playing the mini game.
Playing the mini game.
Yeah, I remember.
So each character can solve the mini game differently because they all do different stuff. Like Wario charges, so he might have to hit a bucket over or something like that. Where Jimmy can only jump, so you'll have to aim him and he can jump and hit that same bucket. So everybody has a different way of solving the same mini game, which is kind of cool. It gives it a little different replayability, but it's kind of also not cool. I'd rather just do the stupid shit that they're showing in this one, where it's like, oh, you're shaking it and you're doing, it reminds me of almost the evolution of WarioWare Smooth Moves for the Wii, which was like you use the Wii remote as your Wario device or whatever, which was fun. This is combining the two Joy-Cons to do stuff, which is kind of scary because I guess I got to go buy a new pair of Joy-Cons because Joy-Con drift. But so that game has me hyped. I don't care about Pikachu.
Yeah, Detective Pikachu. I actually have it for the 3DS. I was playing through it a little bit, but Yeah, I don't have much to say about it, but
Okay.
looks
Luigi's
nice.
Mansion.
It's a remake of the 3DS
Two.
version, which
Yeah.
I just bought before the thing, so I'm like, damn it, I should have waited.
So you never played.
I
Really.
never played it. So,
How
but
you feel
what
about the Pinkman 1 and 2? You ever play those? You're a Pinkman
Pick,
guy?
Pikmin, I've never really gotten into it. I feel like if I kind of sit down and try to play it,
Do you
I'd
have
probably be
them?
into it. Do I have it? I might have one from a long time ago, but it's one of those games that I play a little bit. I'm just like, okay,
I'll
it
tell
didn't
you,
get my interest.
Ray
Hmm.
loves it. He played the first and he said it was really fun. So
Hmm.
I, to me, it's no surprise. Nintendo kind of knows how to make fun games. You just have
Yeah.
to play. And
Hmm.
that's just one series I just never gave a chance,
Hmm.
which
Same
I
here.
don't know if I will. I'm not, I might, I don't think I'll pick
You know,
up Pikmin
I'll
4
say
and
this
play
on a
it.
blue moon. If it's just like I have some time and I'm just like let me just try something new. It might catch my attention. But
Yeah,
as of right now, none of the announcements for Pikmin really grab my attention.
right.
It's cool to see. Like they have like night Pikmin, what's it called like neon, what's it called glow Pikmin or
Well,
something like that.
this
And they
one
can.
this is just here. I don't see anything about Pikmin 4. I just see
Oh,
Pikmin
sorry,
1
sorry.
and 2.
That's Pikmin 1 and 2. Like they're
Yeah,
finally being released on the
yeah, that's what I was saying.
yeah
So,
something yeah. So yeah, in terms
uh,
of that, yeah, I don't really know, but I know kind of segueing into Pikmin 4. I see it's more of evolution of the series where now you can play at night, whereas before there was like that timer where you could, you have to do something before nightfall,
yeah.
and now you can be at night with this new type of Pikmin type. So it looks
Next,
interesting. I would say I would like to point out Sonic Superstars.
I was just going down the list. That was going to be my next one,
Yeah, that looked
especially
really
because
good.
you.
Listen, what's funny? I'm more of a Mario. I'm more of a Mario fan than a Sonic. I think I like Sonic aesthetics.
Bullshit.
I'm serious.
Bullshit. I think you like Sonic knowing he's not as good as
I,
Mario,
I think you're
and
confusing.
you
I
just
think
kind of
you're
have a
confusing the
soft
fact
spot.
that I really enjoy Sonic media because
Whatever the reason is.
and also too Sonic Adventure has the best soundtrack ever.
Yeah. Okay. Kill me now.
Listen, we gotta do a ranking of Sonic
No, we
Adventure
don't.
music.
We'll never do it. The way we do stuff, we'll never get to that. So what do you think about Sonic Superstar?
I think it looks great. It looks like a great. I like that it's the first Sonic 2D Sonic game to be 4 player, which is actually pretty interesting. I'm actually interested to see how that works, being that Sonic games are so fast and requires a lot of fast.
Yeah, it can't be local. That won't work to me.
Mhm.
You can't because unless it splits it by 4 screens, and that would be annoying because you
I
can't.
don't. Yeah, I don't think it would do that, but I think it may just like widen itself out, like or I don't know,
All
like
right,
it would just have a whites. Maybe this have the view distance will be a little bit different for 4 players if you're getting too far, I guess, or maybe they'll just do this thing where they'll rubber band you back to the main player or something like
but
that.
then
So
then to me that's bad because that doesn't make it as fun for the other players.
it doesn't. That's kind of the same
So
issue I had with
that's
like
what I'm
some of
saying.
the
If it's
Mario
like
games.
online and you can kind of all go wherever and kind of fuck around and work together at some points or
I feel
whatever,
like most
then
games are not like that. Like, is there a game like that's like that, like a platforming game where you can just kind of like go on one side and do your own thing? I feel like if you were trying to finish level, I think the goal is to finish levels
yeah,
together.
that it works in other platform games because they're not Sonic and they don't require you to move fast. But if
Mhm.
like
But even
like
games like
Rayman works because you're Rayman and you're not running fast, like Rayman
Mhm.
Legends. Mario kind of works because you're all. It's the idea is not speed. It's Sonic is always speed and exploration. So if
Mhm.
you're gonna explore where you want to go, unless you're just following the main guy. Then what's to me, it's like that's kind of loses the flair of it a little bit to
Mhm.
me.
I mean, it's kind of like similar to like Super Mario 3D World, right? Like you can kind of like go on your own way for a little bit up to a point until the main character, like or whoever is going to the advancing in the level, you just kind of automatically follow them. So you turn into a bubble and you just get sucked to wherever they're going. Just because that's the limitations of the gameplay.
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. I would have to see how it works before
Yeah, I'm interested
really.
in seeing how it works, but I do like
I
how
just
each
don't.
characters are very unique. They don't feel like a Sonic skin. I mean, they they
Right.
they do the
So,
same things they always do, but now they have like chaos powers that you can use.
so
Like Sonic can like summon like a bunch of Sonics in the screen as like I guess what do you call that? Like a super move or special move?
Uh-huh. But let's say this is what I mean. Like, if you're playing as that and you have Tails and Tails can fly, is he just not gonna be like if he flies off the screen, is he just gonna be brought back to Sonic? It's, you know what I'm saying? Like to me, that doesn't work.
Maybe it'll be like a chaos drive or something. They'll say
it just doesn't work. To me, online it would work if you can go at some point and then you can meet back later. You're talking with your friends, or I found something up here. I'm up this point, and you can, you know what I'm saying? But it's not like, to me, just having it based on one character. If they don't make that right to me, then it's half baked. But I feel like,
but don't most Sonic games have like a timer? So like you're on a timer to finish
most
the level.
Sonic games don't do this this multiplayer shit though. So it doesn't. It's different. It's completely different in terms of just like how it would work, right?
Maybe. I mean, we don't. You know, we'll see. I didn't see a timer.
I'm just saying, if it turns out to be just similar to these other games where if you die, you just come off the screen, and you, like in Mario, you turn into a bubble and you appear back. To me, that works in Mario because usually that happens because you messed up on like a platforming part or whatever, or you're just kind of lagging behind. But when a game with like Sonic is different, where you're going super fast, his whole thing is running. It's not really, I'm not saying it's everything, but it's a lot of it. So how does that work? You know, if you're only allowed to stay within a certain area of one person, which I'm saying they shouldn't do. Now, was there a game like that? There was one. Was it great?
Which one?
It was not the same kind of platforming game, but they made a Castlevania. They called it Harmony of something or something like that, and it was for Xbox, and it was for I think it was an
Xbox Live game.
Yeah, and they also had one. I think it was for PlayStation as well, where this wasn't executed well, but the idea would be good. Where they had these big stages, and your character could go anywhere you wanted, and in the entire stage, it was multiplayer though. So you pick your Belmonts and your Alucards, whoever, and you could all be wherever. And the way it worked is you could scope out really far away and see where everybody is, but you were also super small when you did that, and it wasn't the best idea. Like, it wasn't executed well, but the idea, at least, you are not restricted to other people that you're playing with, which I feel like is kind of cool.
Interesting.
And I feel like Sonic shouldn't make anybody restricted, right? That's you're about flowing and moving. What I will say about the game though is I don't trust it yet. Okay, until I see more of it, because it gives me Sonic 4 vibes. It looks better. It looks better. The music I was not fond of the stage they shown. It really reminded me of Sonic 4, which hurts. I don't think Sega's quite proven themselves yet. You know, I haven't played the last one, Sonic Frontiers. People say it's good, but in 2D Sonic,
I hear mixed.
It's
Sonic
mixed.
Frontiers, yes. I hear it's mixed, but I hear it's more positive.
It's mostly favorable.
It's like Breath of the Wild Sonic.
Yeah. So okay, now they're going to 2D to see if they can get that right, because their last real full 2D attempts have not been great. Sonic Generations was good, but
that's like
Sonic,
over 10 years ago.
Yeah, but Sonic 4 and Sonic Frontiers, not Frontiers, Sonic Forces or whatever, had 2D Sonic, and they said that was terrible too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Sonic Forces. That's Sonic Forces was the one that was awful.
Right.
But that was one you could make yourself. I mean, that was
that was your dream come true. But all right. So some other games. This is a game called Palia. I don't know.
Palia. Let me see that again. Palia. Let me.
It looks like a farm sim or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm not wasting time. Persona 5 Tactics. Persona 5 I still never got into, and I have it, and I hear it's like one of the best RPGs ever made.
Yeah, so I have friends that love that game, and they
people. It's 100-hour games, and people have played it like multiple times. That's how good it is. So,
and they have so many spin-offs and this.
I'm just waiting. I have 3, 4, and 5, and I'm just waiting for a time where I'm just gonna sit down and play them. But right now I haven't, so I don't care about the spin-offs. Myth Force. I didn't even look at what Myth.
See, that's a game that I think I would be interested in, but it's more. It feels like it's more of like that He-Man kind of thing. Like they use a lot of He-Man references, and the animation looks like it's He-Man, but
Let me look at this real quick.
it doesn't look too bad. It's like a roguelike RPG, first person RPG.
It's first person.
I believe so. Yeah, it's first person. Yes, first person.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing. Yeah,
I mean,
I don't
it
know.
looked like it would be fun. I feel like it almost looks like one of those. I don't like that. I hate saying this, but look like it was one of those free games that's like
It
free
looks
to play.
like it looks like a not funny form of Borderlands.
Mhm.
Like it looks like that kind of game where you level up a character and yada yada, but it doesn't look. I don't know. It didn't look. That didn't look so good to me. Just
Mhm.
watching it now, it looked a little weird. Oh, this is a big one that I don't know. Princess Peach is getting her own new game, right?
Mhm.
And
But
that's
it's a
something
secret.
we don't know much about it, but that's
I
happening.
mean, they made it, but it's not her first time she played it. She had her
No,
own
it's
game
not.
because
She
she
had
had
the
a. But they're
DS
making it
game.
seem like it though.
Yeah, because no one because they probably think most people probably haven't played that DS game, and they probably haven't. I tried playing it and I couldn't. Like I have
Do
it.
you think there's any questionable content in it? That's why they're probably not bringing it up because maybe they use her
Oh,
emotion
the
as power.
emotional thing, and she's a
Yeah,
woman. That whole thing
like, yeah.
that she has to
Cry,
cry and she
just to
has to.
cry,
The only way she can
or
get through a game is PMSing her way through it,
messing
being
pretty
angry
much.
and
She gets angry or gets
yeah.
mad,
No, maybe
and
that was I don't know, but the game itself wasn't bad, but I did not enjoy it. That
mm,
was like a. It felt like Mario
it was an
kind of,
emotional
but
roller coaster, huh?
eh. And the weird thing is, I think playing it, you can use the emotions at will. There was no limit to them, so you could just
Mm,
run around and fly and be happy or whatever. I don't know. Well,
mm.
Batman Arkham trilogy, yay! If you
It's just
like that
three
stuff.
Batman games in one, which
I've
is
never
fine.
actually played any of them.
Rest in
I
peace,
know they're really good.
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah. Um, Silent Hope, another RPG, Gloomhaven, Fae Farm, Hot Wheels Unleashed 2, Manic Mechanics, DLC for Rabbits and Mario, Dragon Quest Monsters. Now
You
I'm a
know,
big
I was looking at that because
drag.
that was actually pretty cool.
I didn't actually look at the trailer.
Let's look at it now. I'm looking at it right now. Ready?
All right, hold on.
Well, I don't want to spoil for you. I'll let
You
you
can
look
just
at it.
edit this out, right?
No, we're not gonna edit it out. This is gonna
See,
be
the big
live.
nerd in me is like, oh, this song's from Dragon Quest 4. I already know. Like, I'm a big Dragon Quest guy, kind of,
Nerd.
but I never played the Monster series,
Mhm,
which is kind of like, I guess, for most people that don't know, it's like Pokemon. But
mhm.
let me see.
So there's a feature in this that I like that's really cool, but I wonder how truly robust it is.
Okay.
See how they combine.
Oh wait, what? Wait, why did they? See, that's so weird because like it looks like Dragon Quest like a monsters game normally, but then
Mhm,
they end it with showing like one of the heroes from. Oh, never mind.
mhm.
I'm looking at it. It says follow Pissarro, a cursed prince, and his companion Rose as they travel through the demon realm. And I'm like, oh, Pissarro's the last boss in the fourth Dragon Quest game. So you're playing as the villain or whatever, which to me is a little. I like Dragon Quest 4 and 5 and 6. They're like a trilogy. So I don't know. I'd probably end up playing that. Maybe.
Mhm.
I don't know. Pikmin 4, we kind of went into Pikmin. Metal Gear, we went into that.
What about Mario and the Rabbits Sparks of Hope?
Oh, the DLC. This
Yeah,
DLC. I don't know. Did you play that? Do you care?
not really.
Okay.
I just feel
Uh
like I don't know.
here's I still got some bangers that I care about coming. So and it's not this game called Headbangers Rhythm Royale. I don't even know what that is.
I
I
guess
have to look at that.
he's trying to get on the wave of what's that game called that became free to play?
Oh, Fall Guys.
Fall Guys, yeah. That became insanely
Wait.
popular.
Let me watch this.
Which one?
The
Headbangers?
the Rhythm Bangers.
Are you watching it right now?
Yeah.
I saw that too.
I mean, this could be fun. It might be fun, but I don't know. Anyway, all right. I
What
think if
about
it was
the?
like Nintendo made, it would have been great. All right, so we got a few games.
What
Penny's
about?
Big Breakaway. I don't know what this is.
Oh, that actually looks really good. Penny's Big Breakaway. It looks like a fun game. I think it's made by the same people who made Sonic Mania, and it reminds me of a treasure game. Like just I think
Oh,
and almost
really?
like Katamari Damacy in some kind of ways. Like it has this very like interesting like platform. I love the character design, and the platforming looks very really fun. I'm actually excited for that game.
Um, I'll wait. I'll wait to see how people talk about it. It looks interesting though.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it
look
looks
like
really good.
the worst thing. All right. And then we have Mario Kart DLC, which is still
More Mario
going.
Kart.
But I mean,
I can't believe Mario Kart 8 is just like still living and going.
they
Like,
figured like we sold already a bajillion copies of this. Like, why do
mhm.
we need to even make new ones? Let's just
I mean, I think that's the way Nintendo's going to look at it. That's what I think. I mean, I don't want to
yeah.
segue too
Why?
much
We'll just
into
sell.
like the future of Nintendo, but I feel like with the Switch, they're going to be comfortable with Switch for the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, because they usually announce a new system every 5 years, and they have not.
Yeah, that used to be the model, but now
And I'm not mad about it.
this is
I
what
don't
I've
want to have
always
to
wanted for
buy.
the last 10 years. I realized like, yo, you invest so much in these systems for it to change over again, and then you have to put your password in. I feel like we live in such a world where we're so comfortable like leaving our things the way they are. It's just easier for us. But I'm kind of veering off topic, but I feel like Nintendo Switch is going to be here to stay.
Well, my only thing is like, I wouldn't even be mad if they release a successor and it's literally just a more powerful Switch. I don't even want like a significantly more powerful Switch, not like a
But
minor Switch Pro.
Mhm.
Like I the only issue they run into with that is obviously alienating all regular Switch owners. And that's the issue they kind of had with the Wii U.
Yeah, you fragmented the audience because some people.
They naming it the Wii U was stupid. And I just feel like I don't need to like the Switch. What it does, great. They should just make that better with the next whatever, instead of trying to find out whatever the next kind of system they want to make is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we don't need because to me the next Nintendo system can't just be. It can't go back to being a box you set up and connect to your TV. They can't. I feel like they can't go backwards.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, at this point, they're kind of stuck with like
they're stuck.
Yeah,
right. You can't go backwards to that. That don't make no sense. This makes sense in all the ways. And honestly, in terms of the kind of games they make, the fidelity of their games don't necessarily need to be much better. I know people are making their own Twilight Princess mods and all this other stuff. Not Twilight, Breath of the Wild and whatever, and they're running at 60 frames because you can do that on an emulator. But like Nintendo don't need to do that. I don't need to see Mario Kart is going to always look silly and goofy. I don't need the asphalt to be an HD that I can see every crack.
Or you can see every hair of Mario's mustache.
But yeah, it's kind of crazy that they're still releasing DLC. They got one more pack, I think, after this, and then they're done. And then maybe we'll see a new, Mario Kart after all this DLC is done.
Yeah, I think probably down the line. I don't think they're really
praying for an F-Zero, but I don't think we'll get that.
Yeah.
All right, so two more games: Vampire Survivors and
Vampire Survivors. I feel like it's a game I would have liked a couple of years ago. Like, I mean, it's what are those? What do you call them? Dual joystick shooters.
It is not.
Wait, wasn't that's it, right? The vampire shooter.
It's not a dual. I promise you, it's not a dual stick anything. Okay.
We're looking at the same trailer, right? Hold on. Let me look at this trailer.
I'll tell you why I know it's not. I've played it.
Okay.
So it's weird. It's more closer to like a IO survival type thing because you shoot automatically and you don't really aim. It depends on whatever weapon you have. Shoots out in whatever direction it's supposed to. So
I see. It's like almost like a bullet hell on the ground.
Okay. Now let me tell you something. I don't know if I ever talked to you about this, but I played that shit out of this game. Like maybe 3 months ago.
You never.
I was playing this like for hours.
Mm-hmm.
Because it released on Steam, and people said it's the stupidest, most addicting game in the world. So I played it, and holy shit, I was addicted. You unlock new characters, you get so powerful. It's like roguelike, because every time after you die, you start over from level 1 and you build, but each character does something different. You come after you get the weapons leveled up, then you combine them, and then you get all these. You have to figure out all these cool combinations that make your weapons and shit just get stronger and stronger. And it's like it releases like a dopamine when you're seeing yourself just destroying thousands of monsters. Like thousands are coming at you, and it's like, oh my god, I had to keep playing. So basically, every run, once you get to a certain kind of skill level and level, you pretty much want to last 30 minutes on each run. That's the full run, because after 30 minutes, death comes for you. And unless you're playing a very specific build, you can't really beat death. So, but eventually you can. And then, it's way more. I spent way more time playing this game than I ever thought I would. It's fun. Right. So seeing this, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna get this version specifically, but it's good that it's being more places. I think it's actually free on phones, actually. Okay. And the reason they said it's free, because they said they figured people were going to imitate it, so they might as well just give it away for free. But I felt like, okay, I'm gonna just buy it on the whatever. So yeah, that surprisingly, and it's weird because they show like a Dracula guy on the logo, but you never really run into him, A. And then B, the game is, you can tell it's having homages to Castlevania all over the place. The main group is this family called the Bell Passes or whatever. And the Bell Passes, there's like 4 of them. But then there's also like a character that's like kind of made after Bayonetta, and there's a character made after like Alucard and all these other games and stuff like that. So really fun. It was unexpectedly a game that I've enjoyed a lot. So the fact that it's coming to this is great. It's awesome. Probably going to be like $5. So, if I'd support it. Last game is
Scarlet and Violet DLC.
No, well, I just went by that. I didn't even bother to mention that. Star Ocean: The Second Story R. Now, this is huge for me. Now it's gonna be on other stuff, but the reason it's huge for me is because when Star Ocean came out on PlayStation, like in 97 or whatever, 98, I mean, Tamel, Paul, we all were playing this game. It was so much fun because it was an RPG that had kind of these action elements, but the story was good, and it was just really cool RPG. So I don't know what made it really good, but this remake takes all the stuff and makes it like kind of pretty HD-fied thing they're doing.
So it's pretty much cosmetic.
But then they kept. Now my thing is, I know some people are like, oh, but they kept the sprites the same, which I think is stupid. I think they should have really because I think those sprites looked stupid back then, and I think they still look stupid. I think they could have made those look a little better, but still, the world looks great. The action and the combat was fun. It was real action based, and the game had really kind of crazy difficulty spikes where sometimes you just had to grind. I really enjoyed that. So when I saw that was like I'm watching this Nintendo Direct, and I'm like, oh shit, Star Ocean, oh my god, oh shit, this Mario RPG, oh my god, oh shit, it was like a lot of games I saw in this that I was like, oh my god, because these things are like 40 minutes long. Half of the time you're not paying attention to half of them because you're like, oh, okay, whatever, I don't care. But this one kind of kept showing me, and it's funny because even the last Nintendo Direct showed me shit, and I'm still waiting for some of that shit to come out. Like the Bat, weird things that I like, Bat and Kaitos 1 and 2 remaster, and things like that were shown previously. I'm like, holy shit, I know most people. I was hoping for maybe a glimpse of Metroid Prime 4 here or something like that.
Yeah, that's been a while. We see that.
That game should be closer to the while though. I know they had to restart it, but that was announced like 3 years ago, right, or something like that.
Yeah, no one Nintendo is still taking their sweet time.
And then they announced that, and then they were like, "Oh wait, we finished this other Metroid game first, so let's just throw this one out there." Because what is the Metroid Dread was announced after Prime 4.
Yeah, they still came out first.
And it came out. I mean, the Dread was like pretty much done when they announced it. It was like, yeah, it's coming out like in a couple months. Oh shit! And that turned out to be great and hold people over. But you know, there's a whole other Metroid fan base that loves that. But yeah, so I think this Nintendo Direct was great. It makes me always happy that I own a Switch. I don't ever have to say, "Oh my god, I need to go get a Switch." Like, I'm kind of happy.
A couple of years ago, you had a different mindset on the Switch.
I was not a big fan. I'm still not the biggest fan of. Well, this new controller helps that I bought. That new whatever.
Is it the Hori?
Yeah, it makes playing it a little bit better.
I wish Nintendo invested because that doesn't. When I reviewed it on the channel, I put the link below, but it doesn't have. If it had, Rumble and Bluetooth capability, it would be absolutely
the better. Perfect. Yeah, it would be.
I love it.
Yeah, so I'm you know, I always feel like I always have to have the Nintendo system anyway because I love Zelda, I love Mario, I always want to play Smash Bros. And Mario Kart. So I feel like I'm always gonna get the Nintendo system, but like compared to like the Wii U, which you know, nothing came out there that you really like. This is like. This is Nintendo kind of being hyped right now, and they're releasing some hype shit. We got 2 Zelda. I mean, technically, Breath of the Wild is Wii U generation Zelda too, but no one cares about the Wii U. So we'll say this: we got 2 Zeldas this generation. Then that one Zelda remake, which I never played either. One day I kind of want to play it. That one, but there's so many good games on the Switch.
Yeah, Switch is a cool system.
It's a quality.
I think it'll be the best. It'll go down as one of the best consoles ever.
Yeah, I think it will. I won't necessarily say it's my favorite, but it's definitely. I can't deny how great it is.
Yeah, I knew it. They asked for the Switch. I said,
other than I can emulate it on my Steam Deck and make everything look better, but let's not go there.
I mean, pretty much at least I'll say this: the Switch will always be like the godfather for all these, you know, upcoming systems. I feel like that's the future of gaming at this point. Everything's going to be portable, and then you can just change it to your screen. There's going to be a time when
it probably
you won't even need a dock. You can just transfer straight from your device to the screen.
I agree. I think that's where they're kind of going. The only issue I have with that is there is obviously with this, like there's the new one, Asus ROG Ally, and then there's Steam Deck. Those are like the 2 big ones kind of now. And the similar thing with both of them is that, and even the Switch is, they gotta once they hit a point when you can take these out for like a whole day and play it regardless of what game you're playing, they'll have something on their hands. Because I get it, the power and the 3D graphics. Like if you play light running games, you can play it maybe for like 7 or the Steam Deck you can play for like 6 or 7 hours, 8 hours. The Switch most of the time I feel like lasts 3 to 4 hours. Like if I'm playing Zelda, it's less than that. Which is, to me, that's the worst thing. It helps, it helps in times, and if you have a charger with you, you'll be okay.
I always carry.
But it's not my favorite system of all time is the DS Lite, and I think the DS Lite was the perfection because of not only the form factor, but that fucking battery.
Yeah, that battery life was crazy.
I have one that I haven't charged, and I'm confident if I hit the power button, because last time I did, it will turn on. I'm pretty sure if you have one there, hit the power button.
I got one right now. Let's test out that theory.
Hit the power button.
Let's not play this.
Shit still turns on.
All right, let's see.
It's not even a low battery because the red light's not flashing.
Yeah, the battery's full. I don't know. It's gonna be hard to see on the screen.
That system was a miracle.
You know, last time I played this, I'll tell you this. I did play it recently. Well, no, I played it recently. I can't remember because I was using my. I did play last year. I did play Hotel Dusk and
I remember.
Final Fantasy, and I beat Hotel Dusk with a game.
Right.
And also I was playing Final Fantasy 4, but that was for the 3. That was for the. I was playing on my 3DS because my 3DS was bigger,
Right.
goodness. But I charged this like last year or maybe the year before, and it still turns on.
The one I haven't charged for like 2 or 3 years, and that
Mm.
thing still turned on.
Let me see my Game Boy Advance. See if that charges. I don't know when the last time I charged.
If you have an SP, it might. Let's see.
Oh wait, it's been on. Let's see.
So yeah, that's not gonna.
Nah, never mind. There.
But I'll tell you this: the like compared to the 3DS, that shit dies.
Oh, forget about it.
Even if you fully charge it and leave it off
3DS
for like
3 to 4
a week, it'll
years.
die.
Yeah, it'll die.
And it's like that's what I'm saying. But imagine if they get once they, it's gonna take a couple of years, but once they figure out a way to at least, let's say, a reasonable 5-6 hours with even an intense game, then that'll be something. Because the Steam Deck, same thing, 2 hours. That's you can play God of War or whatever, but also like I have a part of me, maybe my anxiety or ADHD or whatever, but part of it is like I get nervous if I have a machine that I know can die really fast. So I feel like I can only play it when I really need to play it. And I know, with that DS though, I was like, I just whip this out wherever I am. Because I know it's gonna be good. I know I won't have to charge it. So I think if they just had a little bit more battery life,
I just wonder how they did that. I would love to know the engineering principle behind that, because that is
DS Lite.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing that the battery lasts that long on it. I don't think there's a device
that
I've ever used. The closest thing that comes to that is the Kindle Paperwhite, like the Kindle e-readers.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that comes close to like having like.
I mean, granted, those like the battery life on the DS Lite from if you played, it still only lasts maybe 18 to 24 hours or something, which is still a long time. But the fact that when you turn it off, the battery just doesn't drain so fast is incredible.
There's one time I dug it out for years, and I'm like, oh, let me just turn it on. Even the Game Boy Advance, when I turned it on, it worked. I was like, yo, how does it hold its juice for so long?
It's kind of crazy. I think the DS Lite was the perfect system in every way. It had everything. It had online play. It had.
Yeah, that was the beginning of Nintendo's online play.
It wasn't great, but I mean, the DS one was fine for what it was. Like, I still played Metroid Prime Hunters and Mario Kart online, and it worked good enough. But the fact that even that little thing had online and had online games,
and you can use the voice. I think is that the one you can use the voice chat on?
Yeah, you can use the voice chat, blow into it. Some things.
I remember talk to each other.
The first PAX East I went to, people were just whipping out their DSs and drawing penises in Picto Chat the whole time. Like, because you could actually, you had Picto Chat, but I remember that. But now when you looked at it, you've seen rooms filled up because you had a convention. So you would jump in a room and people would be like, whatever, or draw dicks or say it's over 9,000. They that's all they were doing, but it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, the good old days.
All right, let's
send this bad boy up.
Nintendo Direct, good. Great.
Nintendo, you're a winner. You keep doing what you're doing. All right.
I give it a B+. It would have been an A if they announced like Metroid Prime or something bigger. Like Mario, the new Mario is big, obviously, but and there's a lot of. I'll give it an A-. I'll give it an A-.
I think I like to give it a B. I think a B is right there. It's good enough games. Some of the games are just so, but had some decent hitters and cool announcements. For the most part, I mean, like you said, Super Mario Wonder just kind of takes the cake because now it's like, that's probably going to be the AAA title for this year.
Yeah, that's
So, but overall, I think that was a decent
Mario RPG as well, and it's just a lot of content. So, all right,
guys, thank you so much for listening and watching the 8BG cast. Again, if you like or enjoy this content, please. Like, subscribe, share it with your friends, family, whomever who would love to listen to us ramble and discuss video games. And thank you so much for your support. I'm Steve. That's Sterl. And 8BG out.